Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the one, the only Kevin Davis of Livonia Franklin Boys Basketball. How's it going?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Doing well. Of course, he also plays baseball too, but we discussed that earlier. So let's talk about the hot start you guys are on. Of course, you guys are undefeated so far this season. And of course, two big games next week with Loyola and Stevenson. How excited? Just talk about the start that you guys have been on. What's been really, really going for you guys?
I think our chemistry from the falls are really showing now. Like a lot of other teams aren't like you can tell that they haven't had that much time together. So they're all kind of like bumping heads with each other. We've been together since like a lot of us been together since the summer. So that chemistry is already there. And I think it's a big advantage we've had to this point over other teams.
Yeah. So a lot of the starting five among you guys were available all summer and fall all together. So what was that like, and what's it like just between the five of you with yourself, Mitchell, Eric, Robbie, and I'm forgetting somebody,
Adam
too.
Yeah, it's been good because we've all been buddies since like Emerson back when we all played middle school. So we've already all have been like familiar with each other and like each other's games. So I think it's another advantage we have is that we've all like us five specifically have played together like countless times outside of just Franklin basketball, which is huge for us.
So going into this year, what's it going to be like? Heading into the new year with some pretty big games.
We're gonna have to keep doing our thing. Like obviously we can't like it's gonna be tougher, of course. We have a pretty tough conference. So that's always the first thing we have to look at. But up to this point, we've played very well just like doing our thing and like not letting ourselves get sped up and like falling in these teams' traps. So long we like stay our pace of play and just like run our offense, play like do our defense, everything right, then we should be fine going forward.
Yeah. Talk about just overall what is about this team alone, who's like the big out of between like all you guys, who's probably the biggest like who's the biggest character on the team, because there are a lot of them.
I think Eric has to be the biggest character. He just you never know what you're gonna get out of him. Like some days he's like the most like serious person locked in. Other days he'll like crack jokes with you. Like he definitely brings the most energy to the team for sure.
Yeah. What's your personality like?
Mine really varies day to day. Like, I mean, I like to be like joking other times. I love just like cracking jokes, like making fun at practice. And other times I also realize like when it's time to lock in and be serious. So it varies between the two.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Just we got conference plays coming up here in the next few weeks. Of course, some pretty tough games, coming up. What do you feel like you guys got to do to keep the consistency up?
We should make sure not to overlook anybody or like look too far ahead. Like obviously, like we have Stevenson next Friday, but we also can't look ahead of Tuesday because we play Detroit Loyola, which is like a top team in the state. So we really just can't look ahead, and then also can't like overlook anybody. As I said, like there's teams we know like we should be, or teams like we know aren't very good, but anyone can be anybody when it comes to conference play. So we just have to just stay humble and stay true to what we do.
Yeah. And just overall, just talk about what is expected, going into when you start conference play. That's going to be, this division's pretty tough because you got Belleville and you got, of course, Dearborn's really good. And of course, you guys are right up there as well.
Yeah, we have expectations our expectation every year is to win the East, which this year in the preseason poll, they had us finishing 7th in our side division, which was like kind of like wow, like they really think like we're that bad. So it's kind of like we have like a kind of want to prove a point that like we're better than what they have us at. That's been a big motivation for us up to this point.
Yeah. You feel like there's also this thing that I think a lot of people around, people that I've talked to are kind of, from the inside, they're not surprised, but a lot of people are pretty shocked that you guys are on the start that you are. So it's just kind of like that that me against the world mentality there.
Yeah, definitely. Because we're a program who's like not even 5 years ago was struggling to win 3 games, which we went last year going from being 500. And so we're making big jumps in this program and we continue to push forward and get even better.
And of course, one of the biggest contributors to that is Coach Hurley. What has he kind of meant to this program?
Oh, he's been great. He like it started back in like during COVID year. We had a pandemic squad where there was like me and Mitch were like two of the JV guys, and the rest of the varsity team. We'd wake up some early mornings. We'd do like lifts over Zooms, and then we had a guy come in and we did some like dribbling lessons with him. We do him like I would do him in my downstairs basement. People go in their garages and like I think that's when the big turnaround really started. Once he got like the culture better, and then from there on, it's just gotten so much better. Like he's great at keeping us all together and engaged throughout the season.
Yeah, for sure. And just lastly, how's any updates? Like, of course, as basketball. Of course, you're also looking forward to your last baseball season, and it's going to be pretty good as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're excited for it. We just got our we had a meeting with our coach about a week ago to go over the schedule, and then we set goals for ourselves and then set standards. Like obviously, it's gonna be a harder year because we scheduled much harder this year. So, but it's gonna be fun. Excited for the last ride with that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Kevin, thanks so much for spending a few minutes with us, and best of luck the rest of the year. We'll definitely have you on again, probably before baseball season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.